Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Stephanie Miller Show. I'm walking on sunshine. I'm walking on sunshine. It's time to feel good. Hey, all right, it's time to feel good.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 6 minutes after the hour, Sexy Liberal Carlos Alzraki, live in studio, hour number 3 for Coffee with Carlos. By the way, speaking of comedy legends,
yes,
rave reviews for George Slaughter yesterday.
He was awesome.
Go back and watch that, or listen if you can, on their Facebook page.
Yeah, yes.
He's a creative laugh-in, and we had to make him hush. I had to gag him during the commercial breaks because just one great story after another. So one time, Sinatra and I were like, "Don't
save it for
hang on." So I'm sitting there with Goldie Hawn and okay. Anyway, yes, and so he
discovered a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, he got Nixon to do laugh-in.
Yeah.
And probably thereby made him likable and get elected. Thanks, George.
Well, it's kind of like Clinton going on Arsenio.
Right. Yeah, blowing the sax. And they said, like, who knows what part of that had to do with someone getting elected.
Yep.
Exactly. We're just saying, Hillary. What did people say about John Kerry? They're like, I've never seen him funny except on your show. Remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Al Gore was funny on our show. He was a dry sense of humor.
Giggly. He was a little giggly, wasn't he, Jim? Hello, Jim.
I must confess that I was a bit giggly. I get nervous around pretty girls. And,
maybe he was smoking a little bit of Tipper's ganja.
Didn't we do a bit on that?
We did.
Yes, we did.
Which will never be heard again.
Why not? We don't work for him anymore.
Yeah, true. Okay.
What was that based on? Oh, that's right. She did.
She admitted that she smoked pot.
But that was back in the day when that was a thing, right? It was a big deal.
Right.
Now,
when it was a scandal.
I just saw a clip
now it's medicinal.
Yeah. I just saw a clip of President Obama from when he was running. I can't remember on what show he was on, and they said, "Did you inhale?" And he goes, "That was kind of the point."
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I still don't think.
But you had to be really cagey about it back in the day.
I still don't think Clinton actually inhaled. I think he ate something with it in it.
Oh, it's that slippery kind of meaning of is.
Yeah, well.
Is I smoking something now? No.
Was
In the past at some point and just something? Maybe.
Would have had done that.
Exactly. I think, you know what, in fact, I think we'd get more than a giggle from Hillary. I think we would get a full boat. She's known to be bawdy, yes. I think I could get one out of her. Just saying.
Maybe she was high when she did that laugh.
Perhaps. Hey, look, Chris, it's a hate letter for you. Because speaking of smoking, we were talking about e-cigs yesterday, and what do you say? You call vapors douchers? Because you think it's pretentious or something? I don't know. But it's supposed to help you stop smoking. So Norma writes, Chris, I am not a douche. Steph and Chris, not nice, Chris. I smoked cigarettes for 35 years. But
I was queuing up your bit.
I understand what you were doing. Okay. I'm the most important thing in the world.
Oh, my God, really?
I'm the most important thing in the world.
Really?
Yes. Anyway, you were saying you call vapors douchers.
Yeah, because when I see them out at the clubs, it's always the douchiest people with the vapes.
Well, you need some hate letter music for you. Right. Norma writes, not nice, Chris. I smoked cigarettes for 35 years, but I tried an e-cig on the weekend that I saw Sexy Liberal in Phoenix, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. That was February 15th. By February 20, I tried a vaping pen, and I have not smoked a regular cigarette since. Well, first of all, let me correct her. It's Sexy Liberal. It is the power of Sexy Liberal. It is, we leave a wake of miracles in our path as we...
Right.
Who knows what may happen in Chicago. There's going to be, we think, a live birth at Chicago Sexy Liberal Saturday.
We're hoping. It'll give us some pub.
Right. Well, we had an engagement last time. Remember Grant and Vivian? He asked her to marry her last year at Sexy Liberal. And then, remember the gal said she's holding it. She's going to be 9 months pregnant. Well, she is now. Legs. Right. She's going to cross her legs. I said, hold it, Missy. Hold your water. Sexy Liberal. And then, wasn't there a sketch like that on, where was it? In Living Color? They did a parody of Def Comedy Jam, and some woman was laughing so hard she gave birth and the baby shot across the stage. Okay. It's just me. It's a living color flashback.
All right.
Okay. Not only have I reduced the smell of smoking, vaping has zero smell. I've reduced the number of chemicals I inhale by over 3,000 in tobacco cigarettes to 3 in the vaping pen. Now that I get my nicotine this way, I'm not endangering my husband, and since he's an ex-smoker, the smell of smoke really bothered him. I've broken almost all the triggers that made me want to go outside for a cigarette. Maybe it's your husband. Who knows?
Could be.
I gotta go outside. I love you, Chris, but that was just mean. Love you too, Steph Norma in Arizona. Okay.
Wasn't mean. I didn't call her a douche.
Well, by extension, because she's one of the
you
people
said,
using it. Therefore, ergo,
you implied they're all douchey.
Everyone I've seen smoke one is douchey.
So speaking of smoking, I understand that sometime back in the 90s, Tipper said something about that.
Really? How that was clunky. Oh my God.
It's not often we whip out the 90s Clinton CDs.
Yeah.
Clinton Gore years.
Right.
Yes, because there was hidden audio of those years, I believe.
Now, that is ridiculous. Tipper has never smoked marijuana. I mean, it's against everything she stands for. She's... Tipper, could you get off the chandelier now, honey? Now, she's a fine, upstanding woman. She would never in a million... Tipper, cut back on the ho-hos. Tipper, you're busting through your seams already, honey. I was meaning to speak to you about that. And in any case, I was just saying that Tipper has never... Tipper, did you eat that entire bag of... Didn't we buy a whole ream of Cheetos at the Price Club? Oh, you're getting orange spots all over the ceiling. Now, I told you, Tipper, that chandelier is not weighted for someone of your, well, girth. Uh-oh. I'll get the Bactine.
Oh, great. Now we'll never be on current TV again.
Oh, great. Now he's probably going to start another network, and we'll be the only people that get left out.
Well, I was going to call you, but now...
Forget it. For that bit. See, it's lines like that stick in our head for years. That chandelier is not weighted for a woman of your girth.
Or, I'll get the Bactine. That's what's stuck in my head.
Just because it happened almost every day.
Yeah.
Okay. They probably got the Bactine at Price Club, too.
What, Price Club doesn't exist anymore.
No, that bit is dated in so many ways. First of all, Al and Tipper still together.
Yeah, they're not.
Price Club.
I think Bactine went away about 40 years ago. So.
I think they still have Bactine.
I have it. I have it.
Because you're accident prone.
Yeah, well.
It's from 1962. It's probably evaporated by now.
All right. Hey, who wants another story about somebody hiding a gun up their vagina?
Wow. Either that's a small gun or...
Well.
or there could be
Don't
someone hiding in the wheel well.
Got plenty of room in a wheel well. For a lot of stowaways. Don't say it.
Yeah.
Don't say hot dog down a hallway.
It's like a hot dog down a hallway.
Okay. A 19-year-old Tennessee woman had a loaded handgun hidden in her vagina.
Wow.
When she was brought into jail yesterday, following a collar for driving with a suspended license. Well, where do you hide the gun? There you go.
Well,
wow, look at that hair. Doesn't she look exactly like you think she might look?
she looks like she could fit a gun in her vagina.
A subsequent track revealed that the 5-shot mini revolver.
Oh, well, mini revolver.
Questioning her
capaciousness?
Well,
right.
You know,
it's a mini revolver.
I'm not a gun enthusiast, but the smaller the gun, the less effective it is. I mean, wouldn't that stand to reason?
Well, you have to get in pretty close.
Oh. I mean, what's the use of a mini revolver if you're just gonna
Well, if you're trying to shoot Mini Kiss,
if you're gonna barely break the skin.
If you're being attacked by miniband.
Okay.
So you never know when Vern Torres is going to go nuts. You got to do something.
Sometimes I just go berserk.
Boy, you got to hand it to her. Loaded. That's
That takes some huevos.
Right. It had been stolen from an auto burglary in 2013. It was owned by John Souther, a 70-year-old retired car salesman. When told where the gun had been stashed, Souther said, "Oh gosh,
I guess I won't be needing that anymore."
He noted that he would eventually like the little fellow returned, but added that the weapon will require a bath in bleach. Well, that's just mean to question her freshness on top of everything else.
Well, if you saw that picture, wouldn't you question?
So someone stole your gun and shoved it up there for JJ. There's no reason to question her ladylike, her daintiness.
You saw the picture. Wouldn't you question her freshness?
I'd be the first thing I asked. Do you by any chance have a
gun in your
gun up here?
hoo-ha?
She looks like she would.
Or are you just happy to see me?
It's a combination of hoe and danger.
Wow.
That's
Want to get banged has a whole new meaning.
Yeah.
Wow. Bang.
Yikes.
Okay.
Bang, bang.
All right. Kevin writes this. I was thinking just this thing yesterday. Hey, Steph and the Mooks, is it just me or does anyone else reflexively cringe with apprehension and fear anymore when they hear today the Supreme Court ruled?
yeah.
It seems no matter what follows those words these days, it's never anything good for America. Yeah. Somebody said, again, about elections matter. Somebody was saying, before you think like Bush's presidency was a complete failure, you have like, Roberts and Alito. And isn't that true? You go, you think, okay, well, President Obama was able to get us out of the disastrous wars, turn around the disastrous economy that Bush created, but you're going, this is why elections matter.
Right.
Because you can't undo those two douches. I bet they vape, both of them.
I'm sure they do.
I bet they
Oh,
vape,
God.
Roberts and Alito.
They vape all day long.
Yeah, I love the, what was it, remember Alito, what was it during the, after Citizens United and when President Obama criticized it in the State of the Union, he's like, no, that's not what's gonna happen, that's crazy. Well, there was, in this latest thing, there were some of the hypotheticals they had posed, I think in the McCutcheon case, he was like, oh, well, that's a crazy hypothetical, that's never, and by the way, it's exactly what's happening now.
Exactly.
We'll tell you about it,
Yeah.
what's happening in financing post the McCutcheon decision, and in record speed by Republican groups. And Alito there in the oral arguments was like, oh, that's not, that's a crazy hypothetical. Splat. I just think
Once again, proving that President Obama is smarter than Alito.
than the average bear.
Yep.
All right, 17 minutes after the hour, this hour of the Stephanie Miller Show brought to you by No Hair. Have you ever noticed celebrities how, they seem perfect, but they have that hair-free skin? I always think, how do they do that? How do they get so beautiful? Well, I asked some of my friends, and they gave me the insider secret for getting that smooth skin without all the hassle. They use No Pro.
Oh.
No has gone pro.
How?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Wow.
No nicks, no cuts, no rashes, no expensive salon treatments. Because, I hate going out of the house and getting pestered by paparazzi. Even though I am a celebrity that's just like you.
Uh-huh.
Celebs and models have been tossing razors and expensive salon treatments, switching to No Pro for weeks of long-lasting results. I decided to give it a try. It is incredible. Seriously, the best way to remove unwanted hair with no pain. Legs, arms, bikini line, face. Guys, if you want to do your chest or your back, if you're hirsute.
Pursuit.
Right.
There's no T.
Okay. Ditch the razors and salon treatments since you've never even seen a razor. Look at you. You're like you could be hunted for your pelt. Ditch razors and salon treatments and switch to No Pro. You will be thrilled. No Pro comes with a 100% 60-day money-back guarantee. Plus, when you purchase, No is giving you a $50 gift card to a dermatologist-recommended and award-winning skincare line, plus a free travel case. Just have to go to NoNoStephanie.com to get these free gifts. That's NoNoStephanie.com. Do it. NoNoStephanie.com. 19 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. The Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 24 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEPH12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Fred has located his chief petty officer. Everything is fine now.
The petty man is here. I want to be petted.
Hello, where had the man been? All right, 1-800-STEPH12, the phone number. So we were talking about Supreme Court stuff. Another awful decision, in my opinion, on the Michigan affirmative action stuff. God bless Sonia Sotomayor.
Yeah. She kind of got into it with Roberts.
Yes. Poked him with a little legal stick.
Yeah.
Doink. 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 We announced this during the show, and I have the same feeling that Kevin in Chicago does. The minute you say, oh, we have a little bit of breaking news from the Supreme Court, I'm like, what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
Rich people can just purchase the entire election now if they'd like to. For you can spend $1 zillion. The Supreme Court on Tuesday upheld Michigan's ban on using race as a factor in college admissions, despite one justice's impassioned dissent. Thank you. That accused the court of wanting to wish away racial inequality. She accused him of being able to wish it away into the cornfield.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't see any when he was wearing his jazzy white sweater on Fire Island.
Presenting a pie.
Hi.
Pie.
I have a pie.
I brought pie.
Look, see?
But this does, you know what, this does go to a lot of these same decisions about gay rights. The justices said in a 6-2 ruling that Michigan voters had a right to change their state constitution in 2006 to prohibit public colleges and universities from taking account of race in admissions decisions. This is exactly what happened with Prop 8, and this is how this all started with marriage equality, that voters can just decide something even if it oppresses a minority, and that's what she was saying. Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the decision tramples on the rights of minorities, even though the amendment was adopted democratically. She said without checks, democratically approved legislation can oppress minority groups. Exactly what happened with Prop 8 out here in California. She read her dissent aloud in the courtroom, and Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg sided with Sotomayor. She said judges ought not to sit back and wish away, rather than confront the racial inequality that exists in our society. She's one of 2 justices, along with Clarence Thomas, who have acknowledged affirmative action was a factor in their admission to Princeton and Yale. Respectively, they both attended law school at Yale. Thomas, of course, a staunch advocate of racial preferences. Responding to Sotomayor, Roberts says it does more harm than good to question the openness and candor of those on either side of the debate. Oh, whatever. Whatever, Judge McDusherson. The Michigan Attorney General
is a victory for the citizens of Michigan, who overwhelmingly voted in 2006 to require equal treatment in admission to our outstanding colleges and universities.
What your version of equal treatment isn't necessarily equal.
Right.
Ow.
Jennifer Gratz, affirmative action ban supporter.
It says that the voters do have a right to vote on important issues and to make decisions as to whether our government should be treating people equally or should be giving special preferences to some.
Okay, well, good. Everybody move on. Racism is completely over in America. Well, good to know. You hit the lights.
Yep.
Okay. Sherilyn Eiffel from the NAACP.
What's going to happen is what happened in Michigan, and that is a campaign of disinformation and of fear about affirmative action, a campaign that suggests that minority students are taking the place of others.
Yeah, you're right. Sonia Sotomayor and John Roberts traded little subtle digs.
Yeah.
You know those lawyerly type of digs.
High-minded yet subtle.
It's the legal version of I know you're out. What am I?
Yeah.
Ipso
post facto.
Bounces off me and sticks to you.
Stare decisis.
Here, I want you to check out my briefs.
Yeah, well,
and kiss them while you're at it.
This is Roberts famously wrote in a 2007 opinion, the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. Oh, okay, so everyone will just magically do that because you have wished racism away. So sure. Yeah.
It's real good what you've done, Anthony. It's real good.
Tell us about the rabbits.
What?
No,
what?
That's a different.
Oh, my God.
Shut up, both of you. Okay.
Of Mice and Men had nothing to do with the Twilight Zone.
Listen, here's my last nerve. Here's you. Sotomayor wrote, at a clear dig at Roberts, the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to speak openly and candidly on the subject of race and to apply the Constitution with eyes open to the unfortunate effects of centuries of racial discrimination. And she wrote that view of how government should respond to issues involving racial discrimination was out of touch with reality. Anyway, so then he jabbed back. As only someone in a snappy white sweater and a pie can do. Okay. Joy Greenbaum, civil rights attorney.
I think you're going to see those that want to challenge affirmative action be further emboldened to do so.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll tell you about the last awful Supreme Court decision before that one and what's already happened with campaign finance. 29 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show. It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. Sexy Liberal Carlos Alzraki, hour number 3, live in studio, 34 minutes after the hour. 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number. Susie in Atlanta. Hi, Susie.
Hello, Stephanie.
Hello.
Let me just say from the start, I adore you. I listen to you every single day on my way to work. You're brilliant.
Thank you.
Just put me a tool. That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Here's my position on the discrimination decision that came down.
Right.
I am as about far to the left as you can get. Pot should be legal. Abortion is no question. But when it comes to discrimination in school, I don't think that there ought to be quotas or anything else. It should be, you should have a number for your name. You should not have to fill in a race, because a lot of times on applications you fill in race. It should be based strictly on merit. And if you cannot...
Susie, I understand your point of view. I guess, you know, it's sitting here watching the reaction to this president. You can't tell me that racism has been wished away in America. It just hasn't.
No two ways about it. No two ways about it. I mean, I would say it's as bad as it ever was, but it doesn't change what's the word I'm looking for? What you need, the credentials that you need to get into school. Even, that's why I'm saying there shouldn't be anything on your form that says what race you are.
Yeah, listen, I think Sonia Sotomayor speaks from experience. I mean, what I find galling is that Clarence Thomas, who admits the affirmative action helped him get where he is against it for other people.
Speaking of tools, yes. I mean, I don't know how, I don't know what, was it Bush the first to put him on?
I believe so, yes. Bush the first.
Yes. Right.
Oh, my God. It was horrific. And I worked for lawyers, by the way. But it was amazing when he did that. And all I remember is him, it was almost like the Clinton moment where I did not have sex with that woman. When he was up being questioned.
Right.
And they turned it into race, but it was race then when they put him up.
Right.
They didn't put him up on merit.
Right, and I love that he called it a high-tech lynching when what they did to Anita Hill was a high-tech lynching.
Right. Disgusting.
Yep,
disgusting.
Exactly. All right, honey, I love you. We ended in love. That's all right. I respect your opinion. You're just wrong.
You know, I don't necessarily agree with her, but I do see where she's coming from.
Yeah, no, and I think that's true. There are, fair-minded people that obviously disagree.
Right.
You just happen to be wrong, because I'm always right.
Sure.
Was I right about campaign finance? Was the president right? And what did Alito say?
Yeah.
No, that's not what's going to happen. Cash is going to corrupt campaigns? No.
That could never happen.
No, Mr. President. Hey, guess what's happened, everybody?
What?
Cash is already corrupting. Jim just said, why don't we just cancel the election? Just ask the Koch brothers. What would you like?
Whatever they want.
What would you like? The surf. Surfs will get it done.
A pie?
That's what John Roberts just gave them.
Yeah.
A big pie full of campaign corruption. Here. Feel free to buy whatever elections you'd like.
Taste the corruption.
Well, why goodness they are speedy, those Republicans. They have launched their second post-McCutcheon super committee to tap mega donors. That thing that said that's not going to happen. That is crazy. Republicans registered their 2014 Senators Classics Committee on April 15th, linking together 19 Republican candidates for Senate. Under one fundraising umbrella, the committee will be able to accept donations as high as $98,800 in one fell swoop from a single donor.
Wow.
It's like an umbrella that,
Well, at least it's not $100,000.
Right. See? There's that. Oh, Jim, you're such a silver lining guy.
The bright side of life.
It's a big rich person umbrella, like, Diddy and other rich people need people to hold their umbrellas for them. Why don't I have one of those? Oh, it hardly ever rains here. Okay. This is the second
It's supposed to rain in Chicago this weekend, though, so you might need an umbrella holder there.
Not till Sunday. I'll be on the plane back.
Okay.
This is the second super committee to form following the McCutcheon decision. They're feeling super. Republicans weirdly feeling super. Look at that. Second super. Oh my God, so super.
Thanks for asking. All things considered, I couldn't be better, I must say. I'm feeling super.
Here's a pie.
Nothing bugs me. Everything is super when you're, don't you think I look cute in this hat?
In this white sweater.
During oral arguments before the court, the justices were presented with the hypothetical situation of a super committee linking hundreds of candidates together to allow a donor to write a check in excess of $1 million.
Oh, that could never happen. That's crazy.
The Solicitor General also proposed a scenario where these groups could link together state political parties, which could then shift funds around with each other to subvert the base limits, preventing donors from giving $10,000 per year to the state groups. Justice Samuel Alito called this a wild hypothetical. No,
Mr. President.
And Chief Justice John Roberts dismissed such concerns. He wished them away once again.
Oh, that's just a bunch of hooey.
In his opinion, for the majority, even though a record already exists of the Romney victory committee shifting funds between state party committees that had already received maximum contributions from donors. Right. But it's still crazy. Oh, my God.
That's a conspiracy theory. That never happens.
Crazy cuckoo bananas.
I brought crazy cuckoo banana bread as well with my pie. Brian and Charlotte. Hello, Brian.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
As much as I love liberals, far left liberals that call the show, I can't expect them to understand racism if they haven't experienced it. I mean, I understand what the lady was saying in the last call, but the reason for affirmative action to begin with is because blacks were being rejected even if they were qualified.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, it's just like trying to prove you can't sue the college by saying, I got discriminated against because I was black. That's the reason why they put affirmative action in.
Brian, what do you think of her idea of, using a number instead of a name and leaving off race altogether on an application so that these people have no idea what these people look like, who these people are, they're just being graded on their merits?
Now, do they come in for an interview?
No.
You're talking about for college.
Right, for college.
Okay, well, that sounds better until your name is Shaniqua.
Right, that's why she
You're
said,
the smartest boy in class.
No, that's why she said replace a name with a number.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
Oh, okay.
I see.
I mean that.
What do you think of that, number 69?
I mean, that sounds better than the alternative. Just but I mean, I don't know. There's like Stephanie said. With so much stuff that's happened since Obama's been elected, I mean it's hard for me to understand.
Yeah, Brian, don't you?
I get that. Come to grips with why they're taking this stuff away.
Right? Don't you? Most days there's some comment or some story where you go, really, this is our post-racial America. That's nice. Yeah, that's how many over Easter? How many do we see the watermelon roll on the White House lawn in place of the Easter egg roll? How many hilarious people forwarded that?
Yeah, and it seems like it's gotten a little worse since he's been president.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, thank you, guys. I love everything that you guys do as usual. Y'all have a good morning.
I love everything about you, number 69. I picked a number that sounds dirty. All right. Hey, I don't know, though. Some people, because I went to the, as you know.
University of Spoiled Children?
Yes.
What? You are our rival,
I
too.
went to the School of Drama, I will have you know. So I had to do an audition. So I'm saying I don't know if some schools have things where you have interviews, because,
I never had an interview for any of the school. I even got into USC, and
Can I have
never
some theater music, please? As you know, Jim, I had to pick one comedic and one dramatic monologue.
Yeah, but you're a theater degree.
And go present them.
Is that a real degree?
This is how this all ended up.
Yeah.
One classical and one contemporary monologue. I have chosen. I'm just saying. I think some schools do have interview things or whatever, though.
Well, yeah, but you have your Richard III Tale of Two Cities mashup.
Yes.
You do.
Yes.
It's your monologue.
Yeah, right.
It was worse at times. It was best at times.
I had to prepare for my line in Streetcar Named Desire, which I would later deliver at the Edinburgh Theatre Festival. Blanche, it's time. See?
I got into 5 out of the 6 colleges I applied to, and I never had to interview. What? Yeah, just because Occidental College didn't want me.
God. Oh, bitter much?
So you had to go to Oriental College.
Oh, you did not do that on camera.
Oh, they don't care. It's non-commercial.
Well, then I'd like to say the same thing to Yale, who also turned me.
Oh, well then.
I got into Stanford and Notre Dame, I'll have you know, and then I went to the University of Spoiled Children. But
I got into USC and I got into Pepperdine.
Okay, all right. We have everything else for our systems now? UCLA grad, anything you'd like to say? Anybody turn you down? No.
Well, no, it's sort of a legacy because my dad was a professor.
Oh,
No.
look at that
No, that's
fancy
not true.
liberal
No.
Professor Father.
No. UCLA was dirt cheap in those days. Like $234 for 12 units, something like that.
That's outrageous. I won't pay it.
I won't pay it. Outrageous.
Brett in Wisconsin. You're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Brett.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hey.
Say I was listening to one of the last callers, and you talk about the number system, and I think we're forgetting something here because a lot of inner city schools aren't going to have the same type of economic balance and opportunities as a lot of the suburban schools, and their test scores aren't going to be as high. So they get discriminated that way also.
Yep.
And I think we're missing the point there by just putting a number system on there.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I wanted to put out there to you.
Okay. The other thing I'd like to put out is I just realized that way too many people did a scene from Night Mother. They're very depressing.
Well, there are a lot of...
That was everybody's dramatic monologue.
Well, there are a lot of monologues in that play, so there's a lot to choose from.
Right. And the scenes always sucked and they were like Oscar Pistorius level, over the top, sucky, just, good night, mother. And scene. Okay, I'd like to go into my contemporary...
In one of my classes, I had to do a scene from Equus.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah.
I saw that at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York.
I didn't have to strip down or anything.
And I was still a little Catholic girl. I was like, oh my God, I can see his penis.
No, that's an intense play.
Yeah. I'll say. Okay. All right, theater flashbacks.
All right.
46 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Yeah, sorry.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Welcome to it. 51 minutes after the hour, 1-800-STEPH-12, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. Daryl in Atlanta, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Daryl.
Hey, Steph, thanks for letting me in, but I'm an attorney, but before I was an attorney, I worked in a college admissions office, and I think everybody's missing the point on this thing.
Uh-huh.
It's not just race is an issue. It's these schools want diversity, and the problem is, like everybody said, there's no diversity. But what angers me the most is I see all of these applications coming in, and you'll have somebody who granddaddy went to the school, great granddaddy went to the school, and had C grades when they were in high school, and I'm like, they got a larger point. So why don't someone out there? Supreme Court, go to the Supreme Court, a case to go to the Supreme Court saying I was discriminated against because of somebody like George Bush getting in on election.
It's so funny, we almost collided getting to George W. Bush. Tell me he would have gotten into Yale if his name...
Can I get some points for that so I can go back to school? Have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, honey. But he's right. You get points for being a legacy, you get points for being an athlete, and I'm just saying.
Or a doofus in the case of W.
Right.
He's a legacy and a doofus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, listen to any of his speeches. You'd be like, really?
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. It fooled me, you can't get fooled again.
Yeah, got the food on your family. I like to do my dramatic monologue now. Just kidding. All right, he didn't go to drama school. I'm just saying. But give me a break. He was what? Not even a C student.
Tribal sovereignty means that. It's sovereign. You've been given sovereignty, and you're viewed as a sovereign entity.
Tribal thing.
Didn't we always used to say that he seemed like someone filling out the blue book? I
guess it makes you a coin if you're a sovereign.
He was always like struggling to finish the number of words he needed in that essay. It's tribal. Sovereignty would be. It means, sir, you are sovereign.
Sovereign
in
member.
A way, in a tribalicious.
Sovereign tribal nation.
Sort of. Kind of.
Tribality.
Tribality. You can hear him scribbling through it. Damn it.
I need some more.
I need to read more words.
What's that thing? It's part of the word. What's it called?
I think he held a pen and his fork like that.
It's a syllabus. No, that's not it. Psilocybin. No, that's different. Syllable. That's what I meant.
Can you count little scribbly things if they're not exactly words? Can I scribble emoticons? Okay, Marla in Miami, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Marla.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
I've been listening to you for a long time, and I'm a little bit nervous, so forgive me.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
I'm an American woman.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'd like to respond to the caller that called in regarding keeping anonymity by assigning a number.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I went to a predominantly black high school, and I also lived in a predominantly black neighborhood. I think that those two demographics alone would give my identity away and let them know that I absolutely,
And Marla, I was the opposite. In my, we had one black kid, you know what I mean? In every year of I went to school. So you're right. I mean, I think there are what could be identifiers either way.
Absolutely. So I think that, it's going to be imperative that, people are given a fair shot regardless to, yes, it's going to be important for us to be able to meet the standards that are required to get in, but other things definitely need to be taken into consideration, like the fact that we don't have a lot of money for tutoring, and a lot of times, in terms of taking the test, there's no one to actually help you to study and all those types of things. They need to be taken into consideration and give us a fair shot at success in life.
And, Marla, that's actually a good point, because I can't even think of the names, but there's high schools here and, South Central, and you would know that it's a black high school. I mean, and just like I say, I went to, graduated from DeSales Catholic High School in Lockport, New York. If I applied to any college in New York, they would know that that's 99.9% white kids. So you just do, So, yeah, I mean, I think that's,
Yeah, there's no way to completely hide your race or identity.
People are shooting holes in your number theory.
Well, no, I was just asking a question. I didn't know if it would work, and now I'm finding out that it wouldn't work. So
because
I'm not a number.
Our listeners are the smartest kids in class. Hi, Richard. Richard in Chicago. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I would ask the court this question, but I don't really rely on them very much lately for this. But it seems like there was an earlier case about discrimination in admissions in Texas. And I think it was 2 years ago. I don't remember all the details, but the basis is that we're post-racial. That was the prior ruling basis, I suppose. Society has changed, except that the basis of the case that decided that was that white people are now being discriminated against, and I think that's the basis of this thing that's just happened as well. So how can we be post-racial now? It's whites that are being afflicted. And I think maybe it's too subtle, but when I hear these cases, I just go, wait a minute. Now we have new victims, it's Republicans and the conservatives again. They're always victims.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like these whiny op-eds by the Koch brothers and these other billionaires. Yes, we understand. There's been a long, sad history in this country.
Discrimination against rich white men.
Incredibly wealthy, rich white men. Have always been downtrodden. It's time to settle the score.
Why, we've had to pay taxes on our earnings. Oh, the injustice of it all. Oh.
And now, Harry Reid is saying mean things. Bernice in Santa Fe, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Bernice.
Good morning. I'm not sure I can be coherent because I'm still trying to recover from those Bush recordings, the dumbness of those.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 points. One is that affirmative action is about trying to level the playing field, and you cannot just wipe out that playing field, the inequities of that, with one anonymous number. And it's trying to compensate for inequities. So, but the second part of that is once a person is in a job or university, he or she still has to prove their ability daily. They still have to compete with everybody else on that playing field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, this is just a little boost up is what affirmative action is supposed to be. But, affirmative action is not really around very much anymore. Anywhere.
Let's get to the important issue. Do you have your tickets yet for Sexy Liberal Albuquerque May 10th yet?
I don't yet.
Well,
I did go to your last one in Santa Fe.
I would get on that now if I were you.
Okay. If there's still some, I will.
Do it.
But I love the one we went to.
All right, love you.
And they're still available for Albuquerque.
Yeah, going fast, though. Yep. All right, 58 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie Miller Show.